Today we're going to be looking for answers from beyond this realm, for an elect few, as I heard the words. And so we will be deciding to choose from three stones: the Malachite, beautiful green, unassuming yet powerful in its formation, as pile one. Number two, charcoal, ored. The ore, there's a history to this stone. I picked it up in a place where there was a lot of historical land masses, so archaeological findings showing this piece of rock, so it's rather old, and a spherical quartz which I picked up on the beach. So pile one, the malachite; pile two, the charcoal; or pile three, the quartz crystal. And I'll see you in the readings. The first sense that I picked up from this pile is that this particular group of people who selected this malachite or this stone have been people that have gone through a lot of disturbances, things that have been very hard to process, things that have been making you question yourself. There is also a sense of energy that comes from from your signature, that you have been seeking to find out who you truly are within your own uniqueness, because you can also explain to many people only certain things, because some of those things cannot be understood or explained or even proven. So I'm looking at perhaps people that are from beyond this world, that have traveled through many lifetimes to be here present, and we will find out what it is that you need to learn and what the messages are for you. As it started to come to me in the beginning of the week, it suggested that there is definitely a seeking to want to know who you are in terms of what it is that you're seeking to find out. So we will allow the spirit to come through, even if there are those that have been deceased or have passed away. What do we need to know for pile one? What is it that has brought them here? There is definitely a journey, a seeking. The Son of Air suggests that I'm talking to a certain group of people who are explorers, who've done quite a lot of things in their life that have made them stand out in ways that are quite unique to who they are. You are a person who connects very much to the stars. You look up at the sky at night and you question many things. You ask, you wonder, you even question whether there is a God or a gods or protection, whether the universe really hears you. You are not someone who wishes to define yourself. You don't really like to stand out too much in the reality where you are, because for the most part, Vulcan's belly fire, you are someone who is very much someone who's worked very hard on your development, your personal development. You've even slain the devils that have been haunting you over your life. For some of you, I'm picking up that you've gone through a process of learning to differentiate between who you are as a person versus what are belief systems, what its purpose was in your life. We also want to see what is the purpose for this. Definitely a heartbreak. Some of you have had heartbreak as well in this process. You've had a lot of things to contemplate. I've also picking up there are people that have broken your heart. Perhaps people that you've trusted that have broken your heart in this way. This is number 11 on the deck for the card called Annulled. What is it that we need to know in order to understand, now that we know that this is the foundation from where many of you have come from, because there is a drive, to understand that you can actually have the ability to create things to manifest for you. There are some of you that are looking for work as well. And then there are those of you who are trying to understand how the universe works so that you are able to learn how to materialize perhaps an income. There are also those of you who have been with family members who perhaps have blocked you from growing forward in your life path, and you've had to take care of many of these people as well in your life. And so those people have really now, in its presence for you, have served a purpose. And what is this purpose? The purpose is to become someone that is a guiding force for those that come along. There are some of you that are perhaps not as youthful as you perhaps have appeared to be. And then there are those of you that are very young in the way that you are experiencing the information now. You may think that you are, but essentially I'm seeing that you are quite ancient. And in your life path from beyond this life, you have done many of these things before. So some of you may even find yourself in a place where you feel you are a bit bored with how things have been, how they have become. What is it that the guidance from beyond can give to you to help you to set you on the right course? We would like to know the guidance for you. There are definitely forces that are fighting against your growth. There's a Father of Fire here suggesting that your pathway for you, as the ones that have selected the pile 1, is to establish your ability to create. You know that it's inside of you. You know that ability to set certain things in place is so close you can practically taste it. And then there are those that are perhaps challenging this particular purpose. Your purpose is to learn to understand the truth, Veritas Fire. There is nothing more than the truth itself, zero, the zero card in the center, suggesting that overall this is a passage that takes you to your highest truth. You seek to know the highest truth of who you are. Your highest truth is to know that you are able to create. But at the same time, you are going to be dealing, you see, achievements. You're going to be dealing with some that are going to try and challenge you on your achievements. Some of you are scholars in the academics, I'm seeing here as well. Some of you are actually also people that have your own families, and some of you are seeking to have a family as well. However, over the course of your life path, you've been challenged to have to let go of certain things that you have always wanted to have, because you've always perhaps placed emphasis on wanting to help others, but at the cost of yourself. And now it's time for you to find out who you are in terms of knowing that you can actually go into that direction. Now is the time. The cycle has begun for you, for pile 1. The cycle that has taught you how to learn to understand how you can create for yourself. Be mindful that the 7th of the Forge of Metal suggests that it won't be easy to bring the manifestation in place, specifically because you may have those that will try to counter what you're doing. Let's see a little bit more on who those are. Who are they that are countering you? Conflict of Metal. This image should explain to you this is the betrayal of people that you've trusted. So there's a wound of betrayal that needs to be healed in order for you to be able to take full control of your life path. For some of you, I'm seeing that you've invested in certain things and some of those things didn't pan out as much as it was very realistically pointed out for you. it would have happened had this wound of betrayal not been there. For some of you, you've carried this wound with you from many lifetimes, so it has incarnated with you. Is this incarnation the one that is able to heal that karmic conflict that you've experienced? Father of Air says yes. You can definitely clear this by giving your thoughts chance to explain to you, by actually stepping out of these emotional experiences and understanding that you can use your mental ability to see how to counter these. I'm sure many of you have learned how to now understand whether there are those that are possibly out there to try and cheat on you, or even looking at what you've done with jealousy, because there's very much here an emotional issue with regards to what you've done. So you are as unique as you are, perhaps, as I said, star seed, people that have been encountering a lot of throwing chaos at your passage, at your pathway. However, what you need to keep in mind is that you are always able to live within your truth. Phosphorus fire, another alchemical fire here. So this is definitely for someone who's in the fire sign. This is another thing that's coming up here. There's some Gemini here as well. And then there's the Mother of Metal, which suggests that you have the ability to do this. I can see some of you are actually putting those things in place right now. You may see some of it come through in August and in September of what you've put in place. This is a predictable pathway because you're in your truth as we speak right now. How will this go for you? How will these plans work out for you? There's 3 cards that came out here. We're seeing 5, Propel Earth. We're seeing the original creative force, which means it will be with you to be able to do that. And then the gusto of air, which is 1, so 501 could speak to some of you if you are someone who is into numbers. Propel Earth suggests a lot of assistance that will come to you from the earth itself, earthly or earthen people from the earthly element. And we're also seeing that you have the ability to allow yourself, as long as you're living in your truth, which is knowing that you are someone that has been doing this for a long time. That's one of the truths. And that it is your turn to also experience the creative ability to be able to manifest financial income. Because some of you believe that what is the purpose of having all this power within me if I'm unable to learn how to use it? If I feel like I'm not allowed to use it. I'm hearing that as well for some of you. And the Mother of Metal, which is the moon element here, suggests that you may come in contact with this now on the 10th of July, wherever you are. Perhaps I see there's 10 here as well. You'll come into that awareness that you're going to be able to learn to see the process clearly, because you may sit and think, what is it that I'm supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this? I'm seeing this. How are you supposed to do this? There is infinite potential in the ability to learn how to create, and is also the same infinite potential in being able to uncreate certain things that you do not wish to have as part of your life. Your experience is based on your personal reality that you create within yourself. What is the spiritual impact from outside? Is there anything such as that is coming through? Friendly forces. You need to see this so that you can believe that you are being supported from beyond the grave, as well as from beyond this reality. Your spirit family or your ancestors are very much in support of this with you. Is there any spiritual message that is coming through for you? Sons of Metal here. It says victory. It grows through harmony. Victory grows through harmony. In other words, if you wish to understand the principle of how to bring that thing to you, you need to find the harmony within yourself, because if you are not in your harmony, if you're not in a balanced space, if you're not calm, if you don't breathe calmly and address yourself with love, then you are not accessed by that which has to come to you. What is the moral code for the process here, Priestley? It suggests that the moral code is about having spiritual awareness and to understand that the ability to create lies within the harmony of that which is within the mind, body, soul, and spirit, and that you are being given the guidance to be able to do this right now. Does this contribute to your area, to your physical life right now? Do these things contribute to you? Allegory of air, yes, very, very much harmoniously aligning up with the Father of air. It establishes itself through your ability to make a choice, to think the right thing, to follow through with the right thoughts so that you're able to achieve what is for you set in place, and only you are in control of that. What is the last message that we can get from Spirit here for the collective? Be aware that you are within a system that requires your energy to fulfill its needs, whereas you are in control of how much energy you give to that energy, to that system. And the more you give of yourself, the less you have for yourself to be able to create for yourself. Therefore, you are being given guidance here to establish harmony first within yourself, to be careful that you do not let yourself be taken granted by others, by people, by situations, by the company that you work, to know that you're actually in a system that requires a lot of appeasement and subjection, master and slave belief. I'm hearing that. If you're in a relationship where you do more than you should be doing, that those are the things that are actually taking away from you, and so also impacts your ability to create income. So your thoughts have to come back to you as opposed to outside of you. And that if you know how the system operates, because this is very much what the system is all about. The system, as in the world and its systems, is about this. If you're able to learn how to understand this, then you know how to take your energy back from it by not reacting to it, but by pulling your thoughts back to you. Take more time out for yourself and applying that time to learn to understand who you are. Now that you know that you are an ancient being and that you've come from a long time line prior to this world, you're able to impact and create for yourself in the way that you should be creating for yourself, if you're able to let go of feeling that you are being cheated on. Even if it's happened 10 years ago, I'm hearing that someone has been in a relationship with someone who's been cheating on her or him for so long, and yet they don't seem to move from that. The longer you live within that relationship with that person that's cheating on you, the more you are robbing yourself from your own manifestation power. That is your lesson. That's for someone specific. I will leave this with you. I hope that this has given you some guidance here and some affirmations. And if so, please drop a comment down below and like, share, and subscribe so that we can build this channel together. Thank you so much. If you've chosen pile number 2, the charcoal, the ancient piece of rock here, all rocks are ancient actually. An answer from beyond this realm for an elect few. The stone holds a lot of air that is compressed, but there also may be a diamond inside of the stone, and yet you don't know. But with the most pressure that is being presented to you in your life, the diamond is formed out of the pressures that are forming around you. So you are someone who's perhaps a time traveler. Perhaps you're someone who has experienced a lot of pressures over your life path. A charcoal is also a very rich mineral which gives fire in its uses. But in certain ways, the energy that I'm picking up for you, for those of you who've picked pile 2, the stone, is that you are someone who has endured a lot of heartache, but you've somehow managed to get through it. You were able to break through a lot of things. You're someone who's like a steamroller. You break through a lot of barriers. And the interesting thing is, for some of you, maybe a small few of you, the more pressure around you, the greater your light shines, the more you are able to change things around you. So you are a time traveler, perhaps a transmuter of energy. These are for someone that I pick up, could be alchemically focused on things. You could be an alchemist, perhaps. I'm also picking up someone that is very much focused on altering certain things in your life path. You're a changer, you're a game changer. It's someone that changes the game in order to, by just being present, by being there in the space where you are meant to be. Let's see what it is that we can find for you. The energy presents itself as Praetor nature, natural, which means you are essentially an energy being that is an agency of the presence of life, of things that exist within its original state. As pure as the stone is true to its own nature, you are who you are. I hear the words, what you see is what you get. I can hear that. I'm also hearing that you are someone who has ventured through a lot of hardships. You've gone through a lot of changes in your life. You're someone who's self-started many times. I'm also seeing that some of you have had battle bruises in your life that you have had encountered. Some of these have been unasked for, most of them actually, and some of them are battle wounds, battle bruises that you've experienced because of your truth, because of what you believe in who you are. And it's no surprise that you've picked this pile, because in here you'll find the true essence of who you truly are by what is being presented to you from beyond this realm. We already see the most powerful in itself shows, and there's more cards that came out here, but I'm going to take them to explain that at this point in time, there may be some that are not so happy with where you are right now. Some of you have helped people and they've basically either discarded you, or you've ended up working harder than you should be for some people. Some relationships you've worked harder than you should be. And yet you're also someone who is very much in contact with those that are beyond this world, beyond the living. And if that is something that resonates with you, then you are on the right channel, because we will discuss every single thing in energetic form here. Within this passage, you're learning to understand that your true nature is that which is of strength, fortitude, that no matter what it is that is going against you, you are able to establish a pathway through your own setting, your own choice in place. You are the one that makes your own rules. You live by your own rules. You have to live by your own rules. You're someone that has perhaps come from another reality. I know I said time traveler, but perhaps I'm feeling very strongly that you may be coming from another reality. So this means that this reality that you're in, that where you find yourself in, may be something that perhaps makes you feel a little bit like somehow you're not so happy with where you are right now. For someone, 36 could be something important, or 6 or 3, or the 3rd of June. Something may have happened for you at that particular time where you've come to that realization that you're kind of bored with things. I find it very interesting that most of you that have come here are pretty much bored with how things have become. Perhaps you're discontent with it. Perhaps you're also someone that seeks to know just a small little something just to push you or nudge you into the right direction. Let's find out what it is that you seek to have to know. Here, okay, this one came out first, the devil. And death upside down, we'll take it. You've had your fair share with the devils that had surrounded you in your life path. Many of these have been coming to you like angels of light, where you perhaps have given a lot of your energy to for certain causes. I can see that some of you have had relationships where you were not treated so well, but you still remained loyal to the cause. You're very much able to alter the frequency because of who you are, because you're a transmuter. You're someone that has that ability to alchemize the events so that it brings out the best in people, and sometimes it's at the cost of the self. And the devil here seeks its due from you often enough through people where they try to take advantage of your energy, is what I can see here as well. I'm also seeing that death upside down or death reverse suggests that even though others may have thought that they could have perhaps removed you out of the living, as in certain attempts on your life, that you have managed to reverse that. It has literally been removed away from you so that it would not happen because of the role that you play in this particular pathway. I wanted to say game, because perhaps for some of you this is the game that you are involved in right now. Everyone is, whether some of us want to or not. We are seeing vanity of earth here and self-love upside down. These are energies that have been conflicting and have been contradicting itself in your life. You've been feeling like you've been affected in terms of what it is that you wish to acquire. Some of you don't even care about the things, about anything material, because so far I can see this is all about the spiritual journey and what you've acquired over this timeline, over this lifetime and timeline that you're in right now. The only thing that seems to be a little bit of a problem here is the fact that perhaps you've become jaded and you've lost the ability to love yourself. But then in that way, who can blame you? I mean, you've had a lot of conflict against you all this time. I mean, you've had to do a lot of things to prove yourself, and you've done a lot of work. And you may be even thinking that, what is the point of this entire reading? And that is also okay. And we'll see the impact on the emotional aspect for you. Suggests the father of metal here. So there's definitely someone whose father, perhaps you are a father, has been affecting your ability to establish certain things in place. You've been questioning your role. So therefore I can see that you who have picked this pile may be an older group, perhaps in terms of physical age, yet your spirit is ancient as well. There's a lot of a wide band of energy that is coming through here, suggesting that the father may have influenced you on an emotional level to make you believe certain things of yourself, may have even influenced you in how you orientated yourself on a spiritual level. For some of you, if this is not a father, please place the role where it will fit for you, and also remember that you have the right to discard what does not fit for you as well, and to only take what resonates. Let's see how you are able to go through this process now. What is it that you need to learn from all of this? There's guilt and shame here. There's a guilt and shame wound that perhaps comes from being associated with this particular element, this father, the state of emotions that you've gone through. For some of you, you may have felt that you were guilt tripped into believing certain things and to have shame for who you are. I'm seeing someone is struggling with their identity as well, and this may require you to refocus back onto what you are, because essentially, remember, you don't really have a humanoid frequency. So therefore, you can choose what you wish to be. If you need to be something that would be of support to where you're going. Sort of like deciding to study school or teaching to be able to become a teacher doesn't mean that the teacher changes their personality. It just means that they change the direction in which they're going to become a teacher. And this could be any type of teacher. This may be someone that is struggling to understand the rules of the authorities in your government where you are. I can see there's someone from the government that is feeling that they struggle to establish their own truth here. I can feel someone is actually stressing out about how to bring themselves into that, how to marry the idea that how things are in government is not who you are. Perhaps it's about being true to who you are, essentially, so that you are able to not have these things conflict with you. There's that. You are a transmuter, and transmuting things that don't work with you may need to be resolved within this matter. We're seeing that there's very much a strong intention of being able to take hold of certain ideas to be able to take you to the next path, so that you have the strength to set your course in line. I can see some of you might want to travel as well. There's also the frequency of needing to establish new ideas in how to bring about a change in your direction and change in your life. Here's 6 again. There's a 6 here. So it may need to be that you may need to resolve the fact that you were perhaps this is for someone specific, you were in a relationship where you did a lot more than you should have done, and you felt like you were being conned in that relationship, and that has caused you to lose your nerve in the ability to create, to make the foundation, the financial energy work for you. Yet there are those that come in contact with you that seek your energy, that wishes for you to bring to them a lot of things, because they know that if they can project their guilt and shame on you, then it means you'll take that energy for them and carry it for them, and that is the problem. That is the issue that you're dealing with. This is why almost all of these things are presenting the outer aspects of who you are, but not the inner as it should be, because you've been carrying everyone's issues and been living as if it's your own energy, and that is why you are here, and that is why you picked this pile. The potential of metal suggests that this is the direction in which you should investigate who you have been carrying the most energy of in the people that you've come across. What is it that you feel that you're struggling with, and is there a correlation between something that you've experienced in your past? And to come into that contact with that past experience and to actually look at it for its own nature, and then realizing that perhaps you were carrying the other person's guilt and shame with you and have lived it as if it was yours because of who you are in your nature. And that in itself suggests that perhaps you were that person that is the empath, that is deep within your true core, the whale song that brings out the wisdom from within your soul, your ability to know who you are. You seek your identity, but I'm saying that you can create your own identity. For some of you, you may desire that, and for some, you may feel that this may draw attention to you. Some may predate on you in terms of that. And if you believe that, then those are the ones that are tied to the guilt and shame. And that is something that you need to work on within yourself. You need to guard yourself. You need to create a boundary around yourself. If you pull your energy back into yourself, you'll be able to establish who you are, a baseline of your true potential, of who you are. The universe can only grant the manifestation of financial support or gifts or good things to come to you if you are resonating within a true place. If you are all over the place within your thoughts about who you are, the universe doesn't have your postal address to come towards you. So it is important for you to find that you are able to do that. How can pile number 2 do this? Mother of Metal suggests around the full moon coming up on the 10th of July, you will be able to set yourself intentionally in the right direction, and this will give you the knowledge of knowing that you can actually go forward in that direction. Is there anything that we need to know in terms of the impact on your spiritual life here? Annulled. You may find that once you understand who you are, that those elements that have been attached to you, that they may fall away and may make you then look even into yourself even deeper and see that perhaps you have a broken heart or sad heart, or maybe you have been feeling unloved for a long time, and that this is the moral of the entire process, that it requires you to become aware that you can love yourself again. Because remember, the universe seeks a postal address, seeks your postal address, and you need to have the address, but you need to decide which address you're in. Because right now, if there's any financial income coming to you, it's going to other places instead of to you. This is just a presentation of the information that you're seeking. This is a plan for you to follow if you so wish to do so. You are here by your free will. Overall, the passage in your life, this card fell out, suggests that you are in growing into your harmony. You're learning how to establish your own harmonious pathway. There is victory in the personal harmony of the self. There is victory in how you're going to grow going forward. It suggests Mercury and Wednesday, which means those are the days that may speak to you about bringing in a new way of thinking, and to practice it daily so that you will establish an intention for it to start to materialize for you. I hope that this has given you some guidance and some affirmations to what it is that you needed to know. Remember, this is your journey. I will leave this with you. Until next time, thank you. Welcome pile number 3, who have picked the quartz sphere that I picked up on the beach. For some of you, I'm seeing that you've lived a life in which you have been seeking to try and find your true self, your true image. You are here to find out what is the message from beyond this realm, and this may be for some of you something that you have always sought to find out. There are some of you that I'm sensing have been learning to understand the true nature of your self-worth, of your worthiness of things. I've also seen that there are some of you who have learned to explore the passage of what is true to you, what you see. This is for someone that seems to perhaps have had issues with their eyes. I'm picking up there's some allergies in the eyes as well. You're seeking to find out the clarity of your life path. I'm also seeing that there are some of you that have been looking to find a solution, find something clear, find clarity in your life. You are a very serious person. That's for some of you. You are also here to find out whether you can actually continue with a certain direction because you've been looking for an answer to tell you that you're on the right track, and you are here for that reason. We will look at what this is. There's a lot of smoke around you. This means there's confusion that you're trying to get through. You need the clarity to be able to see through the smoke. At this moment, let's see what is causing the smoke for you. There is a focus on some sort of financial thing that you're waiting for, some financial stability to take place, and you can't really see when it's actually going to happen, and you're feeling a little bit nervous from what I can get. Who are you essentially to know how to understand this? Who are you as a person, as a being? This was interesting. Allegory of air. You are someone who seems to have been connected very much to nature. You are someone who is a new soul, a soul that has been experiencing a lot of the newness of this reality. And when I say new, I'm not saying 30 or 40 or 50 years old. I'm saying perhaps thousands of years old, but you are new to this establishment, to this reality, to the way this particular system is operating in itself. You have a very interesting energy signature here because you just seek to know how to find the truth here. But in order for you to understand that, you need to know that you are perhaps connected to angelic forces, because the birds, or allegory of air, are essentially messengers of the air, which means your thoughts need to come into clarity in order for you to be able to see the clarity that is ahead, as clear as the stone is. There was fallout of earth. There was something that you had to let go of, something that didn't work out for you at the time. However, this also shows that you wanted to know why. Why did it not happen for you? You did so much. You did so much hard work. You put so much effort in place. And we'll see that it says, because your vision needed to go further into another direction. Doesn't mean that that specific thing was the wrong thing. It just means that you needed to look at it a little bit more from another direction. Would it have served you later on? Would it have given you the direction that you needed to go to the next step? And you may say to me, yes, you have. Some of you may think that there may have been the fallen. These are things that are challenging you, things that have been falling down the wayside. If you're an angelic being, then you will understand that the fallen, those who have fallen along the wayside, may have fallen because of where they placed their focus. Therefore, the lesson is telling you, if you are part of this being, of this group of beings, that you should seek beyond what has been happening in the material realm. In other words, you are being told to look further into a much higher frequency within yourself. And only there will you be able to establish that tangibility, air, that which is within you, the ability to bring an idea into place that is for you and not so much for a particular purpose that may not have served you in the long run. So I'm telling you, I'm seeing here that whatever it was that you were working on, and this is specific for someone, that idea to have had it manifest itself for you in the material shows that it would have been something that you would have struggled later on, because it says fallout earth. It suggests that you were kind of spared from that outfall or that fallout of the outcome of that particular thing. So I understand you may sit with something in mind now, thinking, God, I've just done all of that stuff. I've put it all together. I've spent so much money and nothing came from it. I mean, I've done all the hard work. Does it mean I have to end the whole thing? The energy says end the stress from that past, from that event. End that and focus on rebuilding that same thing, but look at it from all the angles, all the directions. There is infinite time. The time does not exist. Time is only measured by the moments that you use in it. Perhaps you have overdone it. Perhaps the lesson in here is coming through that you've done more to get it working than you have given yourself chance to understand why you were doing it. Perhaps some of you may have done this continuously. You've been doing it for years. There's someone here who has been working with you on this project or this thing, and within that a lot of ideas may not have formulated itself the way that it should have been formulated. But then what is the guidance in here other than to be able to redirect your focus on it, change the way you look at it? Is it a solution, a one-time solution, or is it going to have multiple solutions? Because that's where I'm seeing this is going. I'm seeing that you're being given multiple ideas in order to refresh that thing that you did. Refresh, requench, learn a little bit more about it, learn to understand the market, learn to read the room, learn to understand that you can reflect on that. The energy redirects itself to you and suggests that perhaps there may even have been those that have been working against you to try and stop this thing from actually happening the way that it should be happening. Because I'm feeling that as much as you've put this thing in place, I can see that let's say, I'm going to be very, very direct here with you and say, there may have been fallen beings or fallen angels or whatever you want to call them in the realm that have been working hard to make sure that you don't have the foundation to put this thing in place. And this in itself suggests that this is why there's so much smoke. Because where there is a fall, there's fire. And all that fire is creating all that smoke. And it's actually making you feel like you failed. And you have not failed. You've just been set back a bit. And yet it suggests it's time to refresh that idea, to put it back into place, to refresh your ability to start it up again. Let's see. What is the outer energy here that we're looking at? There's been a lot of deep secrets that have been coming out or that have been held in place that have been preventing certain things from happening for you because of how the nature of the energy operates in itself. The Mother of Earth here, perhaps the system in itself, Mother of Earth representing here in this reading as an energy that is the earth, and Mother Earth in itself, perhaps, if we could call it that, because this is not how I would normally talk about this world, but maybe you are, is experiencing a lot of changes in the system, and the system does not like new things to come into its place. It sounds a very familiar story. It feels like you've done this a long time for some of you. How does this impact? How if you had to start it again, perhaps redirect the way you're going to do it, can it be done? Let's find out. Egregores. This means, number 42, that there are a lot of collective ideas and things that may go against what you present in your particular field. there's a lot of belief systems that may feel like they are contrary to what it is that you want to bring in. You want to bring light in. I'm saying to you, you cannot just bring light in from one source. You need to bring it in from different directions so that it becomes illuminated. And that is what you seek. You seek to know how to do that. You can't just do it from one singular point of view. You need to do it from the circumference. You need to do it from all around. In other words, you need to make sure that there's light inside of you, all throughout your entire physical form. What is standing in your way? Desire, predator, predate, allegory of water. Too much emotions, too much desire to get it going brings your light under scrutiny. Maybe people that are predating on your information. Protect your stuff. Protect your intellectual property. Make sure that you are not desiring it too much, that it becomes something that is beyond your control. Make sure that when you focus on illuminating all the light within you, inside of you, that it is something that can hold itself together by learning to search the light within. You can do this. This is why you're here. You've come here for that question. You've come here to want to know how to do this. I will give you the direct answers on this channel. Because this is why this channel is here, to get direct answers. Sleeping by the fire. It's going to take some time before you start doing this. Perhaps this time around you're being given an answer to rest before you start again. But to think on the information that has been presented in this reading. This is a collective reading, as you know, so take only what resonates and discard the rest. What is the final outcome for pile number 3? The offering of earth. You will get earth responding back to you to give to you what you've put out to the earth. It comes to you right now when you have taken the time to understand the full body of this journey of yourself. Overall outcome, Praetor nature suggests that in order for you to understand how to bring light within this, need to understand that light has to be formed within you so that it grows out from inside. The eye can only see when there's light from within. If there was no light inside of your energy form, inside of your body, your eyes would not be able to see, because light reflects through the eyes to reflect everything back into the eye. There's your answer as to who you are. This was your message from beyond this realm for the elect few. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you.